Okay, I thought give you a little update about the new extruder systems. Just this guy's, yeah, so I replaced the old metal extruders with this plastic part, and I kept this guy and this guy steel aluminum. So they are the parts that they may break due to the force of the spring, so they're still aluminum, no problem. But the housing is plastic, and it's because I can get it very tight fit with the gear here. So it's great if you want to print PVA, which tends to get more flexible when exposed to moisture. And also we have these nozzles. It's a dual extrusion system, and then the nozzles, they move up and down, and you can adjust the amount of up and down with the two screws that you have. And you come in the back. I hope you'll be able to see the movements. It's, yeah, it's a little bit, it just moves maybe 2 millimeters up and down, but that increases the reliability of the printed parts by a lot. So this is the latest version of the RhinoPrinter. Call it version 4, and super happy about it. So I'm saying what are the upgrades that are here, and I think this is the final version. We don't need to change this. I'm very happy with it. Been printing with it for a couple of months now, and I actually love this one. So I start with the end stop. I 3D printed the cap that you put it on the Z-axis optical end stop, and it kind of filters out the noise. So when the light in the room changes, it doesn't affect the limit switch as much before. That's just the cap. You can 3D print it and push it in there. Then I got 2 encoders here that are printing really well, and what they do is that if you're out of filament or the extruder is jammed, then the print will pause and give you the warning that you gotta fix the extruders, fix the nozzles. So I have PLA white and clear here. What else has changed? I replaced the fan here. I'm using 140 millimeter fan, the one that used to go up top. I took it out and put it down here, and it works fine only if you also use glass and start printing on glass. So I kinda did this bad, and it's a quick release. Let me get a view. Yeah, so you just pull this apart and take the bed out and put it back, and load the spring. Okay. And there's a little notch on the glass that falls into the screw. So yes, there. So now it's fixed there. It's really good. So it's quick release, spring loaded and all. Then I use glass, and it's raised, so it's not exactly on the top of the aluminum, and it's because this rod, the heating element, it gets hot, but it's not very uniform. Now when you leave this gap here, it kind of works as a stove and heats up the glass a lot more uniform, a lot better. And also this helps to get the heated chamber hotter as well. So the temperature difference is about 20 degrees, so that works best. When I print PLA, I print at 70C, and for PLA I have glass and PEI sheet. Works really good, no problem, and it works from corner to corner, so anywhere you want to print you can do that. If you're not using the PEI sheet, you can use the masking tape. One noticeable thing is that this is not a normal threaded screw, metric rod. It's a ball screw, and yeah, it's good. Zero backlash in there, so I recommend upgrading to a Z-axis ball screw, especially if you're printing from corners to corners and you want to do auto leveling. Speaking of auto leveling, so this guy is a auto level. It has a little motor inside that, and then there's sort of like a lever that comes down and then starts probing the bed. And then I took out the fan here, especially if you're printing PLA. I put the fan down here, a radial fan, sort of like this, and it's blowing at both nozzles. And because this fan doesn't go in here, I had to cut this housing here so that it's not on the way of the fan. So the fan is like underneath and it goes into the housing. Then I have here, so this guy works as a nozzle cleaner. So the extruder comes into to this point, extrudes a little bit, and when it moves, takes out the filament. I've tried many different prototypes. This one works really good, and it actually works, especially if you're doing dual extrusion, trying to print PLA, PVA. That works really well. If you're printing ABS and HIPS, that also works really well. You kind of need to have that. Yeah, lots of upgrades on the firmware. Now you can use the firmware with the Cura, which is I'm using at the moment. I added a few commands, and also I added the commands to do XYZ orthonormal calibration. So if you get a cube and it's not exact cube, you could punch in a few numbers and calibrate the axes to XYZ axis to make sure they're normal to each other. Yeah, thanks for watching.